just in case you guys want to hear technically what is the definition of lucid dreaming, a lucid dream is a dream where the dreamer is aware that they are dreaming. Lucid dreams can feel vivid and real. Then it says, and the dreamer may be able to control the dream's narrative and environment. But some people make claims that it goes beyond that. They can control some stuff where they're in their dream, but they're out of body and they're actually in the real world able to do some stuff. So instead of me looking up definitions and all that, we got some awesome people coming on. We got Karen Holton coming on, Dr. Wu, and Karen Holton has experience with the lucid dreaming, like out of body, like stuff where I think some of her stories is going to blow you guys away, in my opinion. So this is kind of the best kind of show because we're going to hear from somebody that's really been truly involved in lucid dreaming. So kick back, relax, go get some coffee, go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do, slap yourself in the mirror. I don't care because we're about to start in 30 seconds. Sometimes I feel so sometimes I feel so cold, but I try. Everybody. Now that's one of my old school intros. That's the only one I could find. So that's the one you're gonna get. So everybody, we got Karen Holton, we got Dr. Wu, and I'm so glad you're on here, Karen, because growing up, you know, everybody has experienced some level of a lucid dreaming. Everybody has, you know, where they couldn't move, they couldn't do something. Of course, science, you know, they have their belief. You know, you get paralyzed and you think you smell something, you think you see something, you see lights. I mean, there's science for everything, but I'm taking the opportunity to really try to learn something because, you know, Bob and I gone the mountains like our whole life, you know, and
oh yeah,
we all have percentages of like how many times we have a lucid dreaming, but it seemed like when we grew up, when we're up in the area called Poison Meadows, where we had our Bigfoot encounter and all that kind of stuff, it seems like that's the place where percentage-wise, I feel that I can't move, where I'm in the middle of a dream that weird things happen, like more up there versus home. And the percentage of the time we're up in Poison Meadows is a lot less than being at home. So I'm thinking to myself, is there maybe a reason? Is it higher altitude, or you know, why do we have higher percentages,
lower oxygen
of these lucid dreams? So, and you were telling Bob and I one day behind after a show about you have major experience with lucid dreams where you feel like you control things while you're dreaming. Can you like kind of like explain your kind of lucid dreaming that you experience?
Okay, I'll try. Now, first of all, I want to I don't expect anyone to believe me because my experiences are too fantastical.
That's how I always say it. You're not going to believe me.
If I was listening to someone saying the things that I say, I'd kind of go, yeah, that's in their perception. Maybe that's how they perceive things. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, no, my experiences are very real to me, to the point where I actually don't even call them lucid dreams. I call it transdimensional contact because I'm in different worlds, different dimensions, having these different experiences. Sometimes I'm somebody different than who I am. Sometimes I'm male, sometimes I'm female, sometimes I'm a person of color. Like, it's really, really diverse, the experiences. It's not like I have one kind of experience or another kind of
Is
experience.
there time travel like involved in a little bit where you feel
Oh,
like you're
absolutely. So, and before I forget, I want to tell you something. I'm going to wait until a little bit later in the discussion, but remind me if I forget. I want to tell you about one time where I, in fully conscious, awake state, devised a way to go back and change my past, and then other people remembered it the way I changed it to, not the way it was. So I don't think even, I think reality is a lot more flexible than what we've been taught. And I think that we're born and we're socialized to believe this is real, this isn't real, you can do this and you can't do that. And I think a lot of that is not true. I think we can do things beyond our wildest expectation and dream. But getting back to the lucid dreaming, so I've always been a lucid dreamer, but to be honest with you, I was afraid of my metaphysical experiences because I always clung to religion, because I had some problems in my life and some traumas. I think that's partly why I'm able to do what I do. I think trauma can induce us to go into um, different states of consciousness to survive. And in those places, we find these amazing abilities. But I clung to religion because, and all the religions I clung to, because I tried a whole bunch, they all said that's the work of demons and you can't talk about it, you can't do that. And then I even went to, had some depression, anxiety issues. And then, after I was about 20 years old, I even went to the psychiatric industry and took antidepressants and other pharmaceuticals to try to shut it off, because I didn't understand what was happening to me. And it wasn't until I was completely finished with religion, absolutely wanted out, would never go back, traded it in for what I call spirituality, which doesn't have all the rules. I decide in my realm what my rules are and what my ethics are, and what kind of a person I want to be, And I actually had, and I know this is beyond the scope of this interview, but I actually had contact with what I believe was an angel or angels, because it was such an amazing experience. And it wasn't until after that then I started having these amazing experiences with lucid dreaming. So a lucid dreaming can happen when I'm awake or when I'm asleep. When I'm awake, it's usually when I'm like sitting on my bed watching my TV, just relaxing, or I can be outside enjoying, the backyard or anything. But basically, it's when I don't have people around me to distract me into the here and now. And I just drift off, but my eyes are open. I'm wide awake. And it's like another reality takes over from my normal 3D conscious reality. And I go to all kinds of places. I've done so much work on myself, like my own psychology and fixing my life and fixing my mindset and becoming a better person, a healthier person, a happier person. I've done so much work in those realms. But I also have these dream states where I go to bed at night, and clearly it's different than dreaming. So I just want to, can I just take a minute and tell you how I see it being different, or do you have questions?
well. Let me ask. We're gonna get right there, but for a second, Dr. Wu, you're a college archaeologist,
I
so
liked her stories.
you learn to study a lot. Uh, Before we get back to her story, is there a science reason on this, or did you what you learned? Scientists can't really explain, because what I've heard, Bob, is dreams. They don't even understand why we dream even in the first place. Is that true?
Well, there it is two sides of that coin. That there's your mind repairs itself. So at night it adds natural oils. That's why I always tell vegetarians you're stupid. Our bodies are programmed to have oils for our. It's for your neurotransmitters, which basically you put oil in your car, you put it in your brain too. Your neurotransmitters need natural fats. They got to come from animals. So anyway, at night, your brain gets flooded with oil. it's flooded with oil. So your neurotransmitters and everything in your brain is basically processing like a car. It's working fantastic. And it pushes out toxins and it pushes out all kinds of nasty stuff. It's just cleaning itself out. And some of them toxins are a bad day. So you're at work and your boss is an asshole. And when you go and you want to punch him in the mouth, and you want to fight with your neighbor because they're just like cutting over their hedges and they're like causing problems with your dog bark. Oh, you know, just bad things in your day. The guy at the checkout line is like pulling out quarters and pennies and nickels. And he like, dude, how long does it take, man? But you got that inside of you too. So as part of the waste product of your brain, it plays them out for you and it allows you to come to senses with what you just experienced that day. And so your brain can only associate what you see. So it puts faces or whatever. So if you had a bully in high school, instead of having multiple different people you're mad at, it just gives you the bully to sum up everybody you're mad at that day. And so you re-experience fighting with your bully again because your brain is just cleaning itself. Now that's one side of the coin. That's science. That's a fact, Jack. But then there's the other side. Now I know what she's talking about because I've been there too. So that's completely out of context. That's nothing to do with the day. I've met people that I don't know. There's no reason for me to do certain things. I'm like, I'm in a situation where it wasn't part of my day. I didn't watch a movie about this particular thing today. It's completely out of context. Probability of having that dream is what? So I'm in a dream different. Now, this is the other side of the coin. So your brain already washes out all the toxins. It gives you an experience of it helps you tolerate what you went through that day and gives you a processing thing so you don't go crazy. But then you go on the other one. Then the other one is like what she was talking about going to a ship. Now, I've been to a ship several times. I'm like, what is this? This ain't real. This isn't what I put in. This isn't the day I had. This is completely out of context. And then there's that side. And we talked about how your spirit has no matter. If it has no matter, it can go faster than the speed of light. As in matter goes the speed of light 99.9, or it goes 99.9% of the speed of light because you have a plus side on it, and it means you have weight and you can't go that fast. But your spirit can go just as fast as any light. It goes faster than the speed of light. Then you're starting to jump around from place to place to place. Then you're going into different things. That's a whole different story. That's you hanging out with something else.
But so as an archaeologist, you know, you graduated from University of Washington.
Yeah.
You feel everything you study in life, the possibility of lucid dreaming is very, very real.
Well, yeah, it's real because I science myself first.
I am
my own best.
I want people to hear that.
Yeah.
So it tells us, you know, this coming from a person who is an archaeologist saying there is a possibility of all of this completely real. I just want to get the skeptic part out.
Yeah, the majority of people that give me stories, I'm like, yeah, I guess you probably watched Lord of the Rings earlier, and you had, you know, I could tell the difference between a brain cleaning itself out and giving you some sort of your own body conditioning yourself to understand what just happened that day, and then somebody telling me, hey, I was in something doing something. Then I have to stop myself. I said, you know what? That's the same out of context place I was at. So I'm gonna believe now. She's never told me any of her stories. You guys understand? Karen's never told me her stories. Okay, she's not calling me and sending me emails telling me about certain situations. I'm like, yeah, I've been there too. Completely. So I am considered, okay, so for myself, it's information. That's why I'm looking forward to hearing her stories.
Perfect. I just wanted to get that out of the way for people.
I'm not crazy then.
That people in the science world, the archaeologists in the world do believe that this is a true possibility. So people, strap on. Let's go. Karen, go for it. Tell us.
Yeah, I'm going to hear it.
Okay. So I wanted to tell you how I know when I'm dreaming. When I'm dreaming, I don't remember the whole story. There's bits and pieces. They're not necessarily even seamlessly sewn together. You know, I might be like running, but I'm not going anywhere, or it doesn't make sense. It's sort of symbols, you know, it's just sort of symbols and snippets and that kind of stuff. And I'm not conscious. It's my mind is shut down for, I'm guessing, the cleaning that Bob was talking about.
Yeah.
So that's dreaming. And then there's lucid dreaming, where it's such a gas. Oh my God. It's such a gas because I'm completely conscious. And I don't know how I get there, but I get there and to whatever the circumstances are. And I'm completely aware that I am what I call in a trans-dimensional state. I'm someplace else or even somebody else. When I'm somebody else, I get the feeling that they don't know I'm there, but I'm definitely there. It's weird. I don't know if it's body sharing. Like, I don't even understand how this works. All I know is how I perceive it. I'm giving it to you the best way I can in words. So the kinds of experiences I have had, I ended up, I can tell you the more expanded story, but I'll just give you an overview and you can tell me what you want me to zero in on. I went to this really funky metaphysical shop and I met a golem. And the woman who was there was actually advertising my my shows and my orgone generators. I have orgone generators on my website because that's how I help to pay my expenses to be able to produce podcasts, because it costs money to run shows, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
she was advertising my orgone generators, and I went and talked to her. And as I was leaving, I saw the golem, and it was the most amazing experience. And I was completely aware that I wasn't in my realm, and I knew she wasn't either. But I still told her I was going to tell people in my world about her, which I did. I made a podcast about it. I've also had experiences where, I was a woman of color, and I had a date, and before I wanted to go, sit down and have a meal with this guy, I went to the washroom and I was fixing my hair, and I was dark skinned and dark eyed, and my hair was curly, and I was like, it was really cool. It was super cool. And I was totally aware that that's not what I look like, but I was completely conscious. It was amazing. Another time I was a guy, and all of a sudden I zoomed in as he's driving along, and he had like a white sports car. And I don't know what's going on with my green screen. But anyway, he had a white sports car.
We're all lucid dreaming with the green screen.
And I look down and I'm wearing white jeans, and I look in the rearview mirror and I'm a guy, and I'm going, oh my God, I have no idea where I'm going, but I just went with it, right? I ended up going to his apartment, and he had his keys out. He was looking for suite number 236. That was the suite number he was in. And I ran into some neighbors on the way up to the apartment, went into the apartment, was looking around. Like, that was so cool. But I've also had
let me ask you something real quick. I gotta jump on this. So one of your stories right now, you actually was a man, basically.
Yeah.
So I gotta know,
somebody else's body.
When you're a man, people don't hate me for this, but do you have the feelings of the man?
I knew he's going to ask this. He's a
No,
man, so he's going to ask that question.
No, I'm me. I'm Karen. I'm me.
But say, like,
but I'm going through the motions.
Or hit them. Do you feel that?
Sorry, what?
Like when you're that man, say somebody kicks them or hits them, do you feel it?
He's talking about your balls. Do you get kicked in the nuts?
Well, that never happened, but yeah, I also didn't check to see if I had a penis because I thought that would be rude. I mean, I'm respectful to whoever it is I'm sharing space with, if that makes sense.
That's a good answer. It's a man. See, there's a difference between a man and a woman's forethought. Eric's like, okay, so did anybody kick you in the jimmy? Because I'm just curious how you'd felt. You're like, dude,
I'm trying to be politically correct.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm not easily offended. So anyway, but it actually did occur to me, but I didn't do it because I felt that I didn't know whose body it was, and I wanted to be respectful to the owner. Do you know what I mean?
That's cool.
That's not. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I'm completely lucid. So another time, I'm in another world, and I'm in this park, and I'm hanging out with these really cool people, and I'm so clearly aware that I am in a different dimensional reality, and yet I'm me. I'm completely clear. I didn't look in the mirror. I don't know what my body looked like, but I was completely aware. And I said to another woman who was there, I went, oh my God, this is so cool. I wonder if I'm dead. Am I dead? How can I do this? How am I able to do this? Am I dead? And she says, are you happy? I says, yeah. She says, then what does it matter? And I went, yeah, cool. So there's those experiences, but then the most significant one, and I have a book coming out. I'm working on it. God, I hope, oh, it takes a lot longer to write a book than what it sounds. But anyway, this was back around 2013. And I went to bed. I would go to bed at night in my pajamas in my bed, and I would wake up in the morning in my pajamas in my bed. So I'm pretty sure I didn't go anywhere. But I would get transported to this big ship, and I would have all kinds of experiences. But there was a time dilation. So while I was there, it seemed like I was gone for what would be the equivalent of maybe a week or 2 weeks or even a month of our time. But when I woke up in the morning, I was only gone for one night. And it started with the orientation process, getting to know the big ship, learning how to use my telepathy skills. I had training using their AI system. And then I got introduced to their intergalactic resettlement program and their pre-settlement program and the different kinds of training. I met different kinds of beings, and I can remember so much detail. It's unbelievable. And at first I thought I was dreaming. And then I realized I wasn't dreaming, because there's no way I could have the continuity night after night. So this lasted for 3 months of my time, Earth time, but it was more like 3.5 years of these off-world experiences. And I got a lot of training. I learned that I had been a part of the exopolitical work for a number of years. Now, the exopolitical work, I don't always remember, and it's very etheric. But when I go to the big ship, I'm having real physical, even using the bathroom or the washroom, whatever you want to call it, even eating foods, doing work. Like, it's very, very physical. But the exopolitical work that I do is definitely etheric.
Can you choose the person by any chance? Like just say, when you take control, like say I want a lucid dream. I'll just use Dr. Wu. I want a lucid dream into Dr. Wu's body. Is that a possibility, or you don't have a choice of what body you're in, like quantum leap in a way?
Stay out of me.
Well, I do when I go to the big ship, because in the big ship you have 3 options. They have what we call a clone body. No, we have they call a clone body. It's like a one size fits all. And different, and the ship is not in outer space. The ship is in an interdimensional overlap area. So if you think of a Venn diagram with, 50 different overlapping spheres or ovals, there's one area where they all overlap. That's where the big ship is. It isn't anywhere. It's in a different dimensional reality. So, you can use a clone body. A lot of different beings that come to the big ship for training and stuff use a clone body. You can tell beings apart because their personality, the way they walk, move, everything, is different. But then they also have an identical clone body. So I have a physical me on the big ship that I use when I go there. I don't take my physical body. I have a body there, and it looks like me, except it's a lot healthier and not so chubby, and definitely seems a lot younger, because I'm a lot more limber and stronger and everything like that. There's a third kind of body that's a utilitarian body, which is also I don't know what it's made out of, prefabricated body like the clone body. And it's got specific built-in characteristics for doing different kinds of work, like almost like a cyborg type of body, except that it's organic. So there's that. So
alien.
Yeah. So those are the 3 different ways of going there. And so it lasted for 3 months, and it was very congruent. Every night I went to sleep, I picked up where I left off the night before. See, that never happens with dreams. And the other thing too is I would wake up in the morning friggin' exhausted, because I had been so busy and experienced so much all night long. I was exhausted. And then I realized I wasn't dreaming. And then I thought I was crazy. Who has these experiences? No one I know was running around talking like this, right?
But do you enjoy it? I mean, or do you get kind of tired of going somewhere? Like, do you get tired of it?
Well, that 3-month stint was exhausting, but I enjoyed it. It was so interesting. And like I said, I'm writing a whole book about it. But generally, when I do lucid dreaming, it doesn't happen every night. I may go for a few months where it doesn't happen, and then
But you
boom, it
can't just
happens.
make it
So,
happen when you want to.
no, I don't. I'm not able to. Well, maybe I can. I've never tried. My whole philosophy on life is to go with the flow, you know? So even when I'm in some of these situations, I'm going, okay, I'm lucid dreaming. I'm completely conscious now. I should be doing something so that I have more money coming. What can I do? And then I can't think of anything. And then I'm so caught up in what's going on around me that I just go with it. And I don't know. I don't even know what I could do to create, to manipulate my regular awakened three-dimensional reality.
Well,
But I'd like to.
Dr. Wu, is there something you think that she can do where she can control to make herself go into this lucid dream? Or is there any study that you have done that can help her to get more
Make some
control of it, to
money.
do it when she
I don't need
wants
to
to?
help. I don't need to help her at all. She's got it figured out. You're just awake in it. I mean, there's no other way. I know what a dream is, and I know I go through the old whitewash brain dream all the time, and it just cleans out all the toxins and gives me stupid ass dreams about what I watched that day in the movies or somebody. I know that one, but the other one is different. Now the other one is you're just awake in it. You're just you call it out yourself in your head. Oh, this is a dream.
Absolutely.
This is a dream, man. I always tell myself now everything forward is BS. I'm not saying it's BS, but I'm saying I'm aware of it. So I'm aware of the situation that I'm in, and I'm in it. And now
What about that old saying, Bob? They say if you die in your dream, you die in real life. Is that true?
Shit, if that's the truth, I've died a lot then, because I've died a lot. I've died a lot. I mean, I die a lot in my dreams, so I just wake up.
Well, how about this, Karen? Was there ever a time that while you're in this lucid dream, right, somebody did scratch you, or somebody kind of did hurt you, where you have a marking and you woke up from it and that marking was there?
No, I've never been hurt. I have to tell you, all of my experiences have been extremely positive. So the ETs that I meet, they look just like us, except most of them are taller, larger framed, more muscular, healthier, way healthier. They're not all fucked up like humans are. They don't have all the bullshit stuff that we fight over. They have no concept for racism or gender or any of that.
Can actually be there, so you actually see them and talk to them.
Oh, absolutely. I have friends there.
So I know this might sound weird. So in a weird way, you kind of know what they look like, or when they go there, they go into like another body. So you really don't know what they look like in real life.
Well, yeah, but even the clone bodies that they might use, if they aren't able to bring their real body with them, you know, like you can bring your real body with you, but it takes, I don't understand it completely, but it takes a lot more energy to bring your real body. Basically it's by location. To do by location than it is to go there etherically and slip into a clone body is a lot easier for most people. But they're all very humanoid, very much like us.
Like draw them out, like draw pictures of everything you've seen in your ship, like Bob, like people talk. Bob and I, we had this woman came on our show talk about lucid dreaming, that they say always have a notebook with you, so when you wake up, you write everything down that has happened. Do you write everything down, like draw pictures?
No, and I wish I had have, because after those ET experiences, like that was quite a while ago, and I just started working on my book in the last couple of years, and it's a lot of detail to remember, like on how the ship functions, the food, how it's prepared, all the social events, how we gather to eat, how we move the big ship. So this is really cool. You'll never guess how we power the big ship. The big ship doesn't run on gasoline or nuclear power or anything like that. What happens, actually, the big ship is actually a life form in itself. It's alive. It's really an alive, living organism. And when it needs energy, we have a ritual. It's kind of like a bit like a sacred ritual where we have sort of a solemn day. We gather, and then we go into a trance. The ship actually emits a frequency that we tap into that helps us to go into a deep state of relaxation, and we actually surrender some of our life force to the big ship. And that's how the big ship gets its energy store. And then after we come out of it, most beings are healthy enough that they're able to carry on and they replenish on their own. And those of us who were not so quick to replenish on our own, they have healing pods that you can go and spend some time in, and it just fixes everything. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic. Even the healing pods are kind of an organic. Like we could do 10 shows and I still wouldn't be able to tell you everything that goes on there. It's so amazing. So I've never had anybody hurt me. I've never had an accident. If I was hurt there, I would probably go to a healing pod before I'd come home. So no marks to bring home. Nothing like that, and that I know of.
I'm always curious because maybe a lot of people don't know. The movie Nightmare on Elm Street is actually based on a real case.
I didn't know that.
Nightmare on Elm Street is actually based on a real case. The movie was where something happened to a kid in a dream in another country. That's where the story actually came from.
Oh.
So somebody have said they actually woke up from the dream where they had like knife marks on their arms. That's where the idea to Wes Craven to do the movie on Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'm curious from actual other people that rather than Hollywood, if they've ever dreamed and brought something back. Maybe not a knife, but maybe they grab an item like somebody's hat, somebody's tool, and they actually brought it. When they woke up, they had it. What about you, Bob? I mean, have you ever woke up from a dream and you had markings and stuff on you?
I got my tattoos changed. I got different tattoos. I got scars I've never had before. Everything's new for me. I mean, I've always got something new going on, 100% of the time. I'm not sure I'm coming back to the right place all the time. No, I'm always changed. I always got something new on me. I'm not lying. This morning, I was splashing my face at normal day. This morning, you do the old face splash, whatever, brush, whatever. The whole roots are well in the morning, She'd shower, shave, except I don't shave. And I was bleeding right here. I'm bleeding here on top of my nose. I can feel it right here, and I'm bleeding right here. And I'm like, I was in bed. Now, last night I didn't have any. It's a fasting day for me. That means no sterilized water, no smoke, no nothing. It's prune juice and good food, salads. It's all it's nutritional meal. I had a wonderful night's sleep. Everything was fine. It felt fantastic. I woke. Oh, what happened, Eric?
Oh no, I was just showing people that the Nightmare on Elm Street story is very, very real. It was based on Lost on Time 1970, an article where an HMON refugee who fled to the United States due to war and genocide in Vietnam refused to experience disturbing nightmares and refused to sleep, and some men died in their sleep shortly after. So I was just showing that there are, sometimes stories do come from movies, do come from actual stories of dreams.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at George Lucas.
Because during that time, they said people have died in their dreams from dying in their dreams.
George Lucas.
Yeah,
but I'm always wondering, like, well, how do you really know once a person passes away?
The car accident. Remember George Lucas?
Tell you.
Remember the car accident George Lucas had? He was in a car accident. He's in an emergency room, half dead, and next thing you know, he's writing Star Wars.
But Bob, think about this. Karen said, time travel in a way is kind of a possibility with this. So in a way, that could explain some things of the Mandela effect in a way, right? If Karen went back, and changed something. Actually, Karen, have you ever noticed if you did change something that other people have noticed a change in whatever you've done?
Yeah, I want to talk about that. So the other thing I wanted to say is I don't honestly, I wonder if I'm psionic or what, because I can change reality. And I just want to give you a quick Mandela effect experience where I was walking. I didn't want to walk on the sidewalk because I had my reasons. I didn't want to walk on the sidewalk. So I was walking in the bike lane, and the bike lane had a picture painted on the road, on the on the road of a bike, and it had a picture of a bike, and then it said only. So in other words, it was for bicycles only.
Yeah.
And I went, well, that pisses me off because I like to walk in the bike lane. I just like to walk in the bike lane. If only the only was gone. And within a couple of weeks, the only started to fade. And within a couple of months, it was gone. And there was just the bicycle there. And I went, oh, I guess I got my wish. And I can walk in the bike lane now. I know it's not a very good.
No, that's how it happens to me too.
I can't explain how that happened. But I want to tell you about something that happened to me while I was fully conscious, not even lucid dreaming. And I went to university. I have a degree in social work. And I was taking, I didn't take any of the, child apprehension or anything like that. I took a very freelance program where I got to choose whatever I wanted. And so all my electives were the strangest of the strange. So I took a lot of psychology and a lot of sociology. And in the psychology course, I learned that our memories are always corrupted. So for instance, if you had something happen to you when you're 6 years old and it's a traumatic experience and it comes up from time to time and you think about it, it's never what actually happened. What it is it starts off with your perception of what happened. And every time you take it out, you embellish it. And generally we make it worse by remembering, trauma that went along with it, or the way the person's face looked, and we embellish it, and we create kind of like nightmares out of our memories. And this is why a lot of people don't recover from trauma, and why a lot of people, as they get older and all their memories are constantly being corrupted in a negative way based on their attitudes and their belief systems, and their guilts and all the rest. We're complicated here on earth. And I went, well, why can't we do that then in a positive way? Why can't I embellish memories and make them really positive? And I decided to do my own experiment. And this is before I was doing lucid dreaming or anything. So, I mean, this is just me fully conscious doing this just as an experiment. So when I was growing up, my parents didn't have a lot to do with me. They were busy. Let's just say that. I'm not going to get into all the boo-hoo. We all had, less than ideal childhoods, right? We all had missing moms and all kinds of things. So, I'm not trying to say mine was so terrible and play the victim here. I'm not. But at the same time, my mom just never had any time for me. She never gave me eye contact. All I ever got was do this, do that, or go out and play, And it really bothered me a lot. And I wanted to improve my relationship with my mom. So I decided to cook up my own created false memory. And I created a memory where I came home, whenever I came home after school, my mom would make tea and we'd sit down and have tea together, and she'd want to hear about my day. And she'd give me eye contact, and she was a proper mother to me. And it really made me feel good. So I worked with this memory over a period of about 3 months. And I even worked it to the point where if I came home from school and I had a bad day, my mom would get out the good tea set. She'd always have a few cookies. And it was just so heartwarming. It just healed something that was missing from my childhood. And I did it for me. I never told anybody. It was my secret corrupted memory. And I just did this because it made me feel good. Anyway, about 6 months after that, I go to visit my mother. And right out of the blue, I swear to God, right out of the blue, she turns to me and she says, Karen, do you remember the tea parties we used to have after school? Now, I know that never happened. I know I created that. I decided how I wanted that corrupted memory to look, what I wanted it to feel like. Every aspect of it I created, and I never told her. And my mother remembered my corrupted memory. That's how powerful we are. That's why I'm always trying to get on shows and tell people about my experiences, not to say, oh, I'm so great, I had this experience. Not at all. It's to inspire other people to use their God-given abilities, their imagination, and their own personal power to create a now that serves them, and not just taking what we think we have to live with.
That's actually pretty common practice. Some psychologists will do that, whether you have some trauma and they try to get them to bring out the trauma. And then they try to kind of get them to sugarcoat it a little bit. And kind of like we talk about having, the choo-choo train with the medicine. You try to, let's turn this trauma into a choo-choo train and make it a lot more easier for you to process. And people have actually changed their memories for the better.
You can corrupt.
Yeah, that works.
I actually teach people how to do that. I have an online course on my website. It's absolutely free. It's a 9-step program, and one of the steps in there, I teach people how to do it and talk about it. But but I had nobody denying my reality. Honestly, I think if a psychologist tried to sugarcoat my experience, I'd get pissed off and dig in my heels more and say, no, that's not what happened. But this was something I did on my own for myself.
Yeah, you got to do it yourself. You have to, because you have to do it
Think
yourself.
About a lot of the people, even myself, I'm diagnosed with PTSD, with the military. Actually, I had an appointment this morning with a psychiatrist from the VA hospital, and then, you talk to them about your problems and what you're dealing with. And they kind of like Bob kind of say is, well, tell me a day that you were happy. Like Bob's trying to say, like they try to, fluff out something good and try to take that memory to overlap the bad memories in a way. So I could see that this is kind of helpful for a lot of people who deals with some form of PTSD, not just the military, anybody that had a dramatic.
A lot of us, our parents are fucked up. We're fucked up. Our grandparents were fucked up. There's no point in assigning blame. But I'm very solution oriented. So it's okay. This is what I'm dealing with. What can I do about it? And I make it better. And so it's not exactly lucid dreaming, but I think it's related. And I also believe that perhaps lucid dreaming, remote viewing, and a lot of these astral traveling and a lot of these things are actually different facets of the same thing. And I think you don't have to be anybody special, because I'm nobody special. Trust me, I am nobody special. I'm as flawed as everybody else. But why can I do these things? I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm ballsy enough to think of it and try it and put my heart and soul into it. And another thing I did is I changed my body. My adult life, partly due to trauma. I was a very, very large woman. I had what they called morbid obesity. I weighed over 320 pounds. And I was able to change my body through willing it and deciding how I wanted it to look, and using visualization, which I think it's all part of the same basket.
Well, what if somebody says, hey guys, you guys are all full of it because we're living in a matrix, the word, the matrix, we're all hooked up to batteries or something. It's
maybe
it's not really happening. It's just because you're living in a matrix. When you hear the word matrix, you think we're living in a matrix, or that's just...
I actually do believe we're living in what I would call a holographic matrix. I do. But it's more than that. I think that it's been captured, and I think that we've been programmed to believe it's less than what it is, so that we don't experience our God-given gifts. And I think we all have them. And I do think it's also tied into the pineal gland. Now that I'm a bit older, I'm careful what I eat and all kinds of stuff. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not saying that you're bad if you do. I'm just saying I don't, because I want to have these amazing, rich spiritual experiences, which come much easier to me, when I'm not consuming alcohol or stuff like that. I've done psychedelics a few times. Funny thing is, I've never had these experiences on psychedelics. Oh, wow. And I've also used cannabis off and on, generally medicinally and for sleep. But when I stopped using cannabis, I have much richer lucid dreams. And I don't know why. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I don't believe there's anything wrong with it at all. Or even alcohol. Like, it's none of my business what other people do. I'm just saying, in my own reality, it's made it my spiritual life, which I call my spiritual life.
Right? I mean, when you get rid of certain chemicals, your body's more free out of the chemicals. So whatever you're experiencing, that you're experiencing it is not due to smoking a little green or taking some shrooms or something. I mean,
Natural.
I know.
Smart.
Bob, Native Americans, I know they smoke some stuff for the reality land. They speak.
Yeah.
They see the future or the past. But what you think they would see that if they weren't smoking the stuff?
Well, I don't need to smoke it to
Well-
see it. I'll be honest with you. I don't need to smoke it at all. I'll be sitting outside having a cigarette, and damn bird lands right on the table. Shouldn't be on the table, and it's holding a twig. I go, that's a symbol for something. It's stupid. There are signs. These indigenous peoples from way, 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 way back. They didn't have television, man. They used to do nothing but read sign. Everything's. I've seen so many weird things. It's impossible. It's dumb. I'm like, okay, so I run the math on this. What's the probability of this doing this and this? I can get struck by lightning 5 times over before this or this or this could happen. So
somebody loves me.
Well, I'm not trying to. I'm not judgmental at all. And like back when I had those ET experiences, I had been using cannabis every day, and then I got a part-time job, and they were talking about drug testing us, so I quit. And it was in the 3 months that I quit that I actually had those experiences.
But it's something
bizarre, and it's just me. And like I said earlier, I think it's because I had a lot of trauma when I was young, and I don't know whether I'm able to dissociate. Whether I leaked my own DMT
that turned the switch on in a way.
Yeah.
So there is the one thing that turned that switch on. Do you mind telling us, or is it too deep for you?
It's pretty dark, but I'll just say that like one experience I had was when I was 4 and my brother was 2. We got sent to a foster home, and they were really abusive, and we were kept locked in a room in the basement for 6 months. And we were starved, and we were beaten, and we were tortured. It was bad. Then I don't want to talk about the other stuff because it's way worse than that even. But I've had a lot of really bad experiences, and so I've had to do a lot of work to overcome PTSD and CPTSD. When you have a bunch of traumas, and I didn't learn until later in life how to look after myself or how to protect myself. Nobody taught me that there were people like narcissists and psychopaths out there. I didn't know, right? All of that I had to teach myself later on. But definitely significant trauma. Not like, I got bit by a dog. But I'm talking about prolonged, hardcore shit that is so bad. I don't want to talk about it because it would really upset the listeners. And plus, it's personal. It's my personal journey. I talk about a little bit in my book, but some people say they get in a car accident, they had a near-death experience, and then that's when they have noticed something. So I was just curious, like if you. But I'm wondering if I leak my own DMT, because the brain does produce it, and it's far out. It's far out sometimes what I go through. The other thing I wanted to mention too, where you said, do I come back and have scars on my body? I would say no, because I don't take my body. My body doesn't go. I'm going there on an energetic level. I don't know if it's soul travel, astral travel, consciousness. My consciousness is able to travel, but I really believe that it's a gift that I have as a result of trauma. I really believe that, because how else could I have survived,
Well, if you think about it, like you're forced, you're using your brain to find some kind of happiness out there. It's like you
gotta go somewhere.
You need to go somewhere.
You gotta go somewhere if you're gonna survive.
So you're already forcing your brain to learn a certain way than people doing it older in life. It makes sense.
Well, that and it's food for the damn gin. They love to suck that stuff out of you with a straw, man. I always tell people, when you get all bummed out, you start running around, letting things get to you, angry at politics, football, whatever. You know what you're doing? You're feeding that damn loosh, man, whatever you want to call it. There's different names for it. I know about the gin, so you're just feeding that gin, man. That's what it does. It's what it wants. You're a milkshake.
You're absolutely right, because for many, many, many years, until I had my angelic experience,
Huh.
I would have flashbacks and memories, and I was tortured. I was a tortured soul.
Mhm.
And then I started learning about other stuff after I had my angelic experience, and I just refused to feed those goddamn bastards. I refused to feed them. And plus I healed, I dealt with it, and I healed. And again, I don't think I have any particular skill or talent or gift. I think that we all can do this. And so my hope is, by sharing my experiences, is that other people will be encouraged to go out and do the crazy stuff that I do, and just allow some possibilities, some room for the possibility that they can have lucid dreams. And it's so fabulous when I'm lucid dreaming, guys. There's more colors than what we have in our visible eyeball can see spectrum, sounds that we don't have access to, feelings. And for me, it's all been extremely positive.
Well, for everybody in the chat, if you don't know Karen, Dr. Wu and Karen's their link to their channel is in the description. It's there, and I think Danny has put their links in the chat too.
Thank you.
Because Karen does shows, she interviews people. She's actually had me on her show, I think twice or three times. I can't even remember now. But since you do shows, you do interview people. You think you like it? Like when you interview people, maybe you're want to listen to people's whatever that subject is to maybe help you find some answers.
Oh, absolutely. The other thing too is I found that I couldn't find in my physical social community where I live, I couldn't find people who I could just be myself and have open discussions with about the fantastical. So I started my podcast. It's called The Quantum Guide Show. And it's available on all the audio podcasts as well as most of the video platforms. And I started it for a number of reasons. One reason was because I had spent so much time alone, I got kind of glitchy, and it helped me to drew out of me the ability to act more normal, because nobody wants to be all twitchy and weird. And no disrespect to the twitchy and weird people. I'm just saying. But the other reason was because I wanted to make friends. I wanted to make friends, find like-minded people and have discussions. And so every week I get to spend an hour to 2 hours on my own show. And if I'm guest on someone else's show, talking to all kinds of weird and wonderful people and fantastic experiences and new ways of looking at everything. And it's the most exciting thing I ever did. I'm so grateful.
Good for you.
Good for you. Eating chance, have you ever had, since we got a lot of people that's here in the community that's maybe their main thing is Bigfoot community, UFO community, paranormal community. Have you ever had been involved in a lucid dream that dealt with like the Bigfoots out there, like is true because you actually had a lucid dream with the Sasquatch by any chance?
No, mine have all been very either human or human-like experiences.
Well, nothing with the Sasquatch, okay?
No, nothing with Sasquatches or Dogman or Mothman or anything like that. Nope, nothing like that. I've had these amazing experiences, but there's a lot of experiences I haven't had. And because I've had weird experiences, I don't judge other people. I accept them. They don't have to prove their stories to me. Whatever they experience is good enough, and it doesn't have to look anything like.
How about the paranormal? Like when places say there's ghosts, there's hauntings. Usually, if there's a ghost, it's because they're there because they're energy. Everything is energy. And like you said, lucid dreaming, traveling is basically energy. Is it possible, maybe in your opinion, that like say there's ghosts here, another person is lucid dreaming?
Wow, you never know.
Oh.
You never know. That's a great concept. That's a great concept. Maybe energy, I'm a part of somebody else's dream.
Yeah,
I'm a dream girl.
Yeah,
maybe.
So maybe those aliens in Miami were just having a dream together. Hey, dudes, did you guys? They got together afterwards. Dude, I had this crazy dream where these small monkey men were in this big building running around staring at us. Wasn't that crazy? They're all like having a good time. Well, that was crazy. We had a crazy dream. Little
Rick,
monkey people.
because I just wrote, what's it say? My daughter has been investigating lucid dreaming lately. She has yet to have any luck, like investigating lucid dreaming lately. Has yet. Are you talking about, Rich, like luck of doing lucid dreaming herself, or investigating other people's stories of lucid dreaming?
Interesting. I mean, you could just, I mean, people could do it. You could do it. I mean, anybody can do it. You're just gonna have to you have to prepare your head. You gotta just be able to know it's a dream in your dream. You have to know it is. Like, the thing is, you gotta be that person that looks at things and say, this, what I always do it like this. What's the probability of this happening? And I always say it's 1,000 to 1. You know, I'm always running the numbers of the probabilities of something stupid. So when I'm like in a dream and something's dumb, I'm like, no, this ain't real, man. And I'm saying that in the dream, this ain't real. Come on. So now I'm in complete control. And so now I'm moving about doing whatever it is and whatever it's got to be done, and having whatever time I'm going to have in it, you know, let it play itself out. And so whatever's, then I know I'm going to wake up. And then I wake up and I go out with a cup of coffee and have a smoke and just have a good laugh. Because I'm like, that wasn't real, but it was. You know, I was there, but it wasn't no brainwashing dream where it's just washing the day out or whatever. You're cleaning yourself up with the toxins.
Okay.
But
she's wanting experiences.
Anybody can do it. You guys just have to be able to. You're gonna have to recognize stupid stuff. That's the bottom line. You have to say, wait, this is dumb.
It's almost, I feel like the lucid dreaming ability people have, it's going to be slowly die out. And what I mean by that is because the new generations that are coming up, everything is about the fast 5-10 seconds, you know, like the TikTok, you know, 30 seconds, they're off. It's like the patience of everything is gone.
Well,
you know, I have people say, Eric, I don't watch your show because it's an hour. It's like people need 5 or 3 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like lucid dreaming, I can see there's a lot of patience. There's a lot of learning is involved. I don't think newer generations it's got that patience no more.
Well, there is a small group of people that are different than the other people.
No.
What I'm talking about is the mass majority, and this is all science, the majority of people do not have an inside voice. And I don't know what the hell that's like. They don't have an inside voice. I don't know what that brain's like. So I'm like, well, what is it like not to have an inside voice? Because if I'm sitting by myself, I got a whole damn list of things I'm going through my head.
Yep.
That's schizophrenia. It ain't schizophrenia, man. I'm not talking to nobody.
There's people that actually say they don't have an inside voice at all.
They don't have an inside voice. And so my concept is like, well, what is in your head then? Like, what do you not talk, you know? They've got like pictures or like the old back to kanji days or whatever. That's why everybody's so into I couldn't figure out why everybody's into Japan anime. Now, I like cartoons. I love comic books. I love all them things. I love drawing pictures. I like to draw, you know, I have an inside voice. But why are these people all so obsessed with the reality TV and the TV shows and the handhelds and their everything? They're like always into the block picture things because their minds, that's their inside voice. So I'm like, you think like an animal? Like an animal animals they're not talking to themselves on the inside. They're thinking of food, poo-poo, pee-pee, staying warm, making you happy because animals want to make their owner happy. That's what they want. They see their owner happy, they get happy. And they have like kind of a block picture idea in their mind of happy. They know when the master looks like they're happy and they're saying little common words that they're used to hearing. And that's that block brain kind of an idea of they don't have an inside voice.
Yeah.
And humans, the majority of them don't have an inside voice. And so they have, I hate to say it, they have a mind like a damn dog.
I love what Carla says here because this is so true. She wrote, I never understood the whole clear your mind thing. I never been able to do it. My mind is busy. And I know what she's talking about because I hear that all the time. You got to clear your mind. I can't clear my mind. My voice is, I don't know. People say, well, that you must have ADD. Really? is everything scientifically worded? ADD. It's
But
hard
it's
to
healthy
not
to
have a
clear your
thought
mind.
in your brain.
But
I
it
mean,
is
I can't do it.
no, that's one of the worst problems that people have right now. You have to be able to clear your damn mind. Now, I'm not no meditator. I'm a cup of coffee with a cigarette and listening to the birds chirper.
Danielle says she
And
doesn't have the inside voice. And you know her.
so your mind has to you have to relax. You're gonna have to turn that damn voice down. I tell people all the time, you're gonna have to turn that voice off a little bit if you have an inside voice. Now, people who don't have an inside voice, well, now they just got thousands of pictures in their freaking head, like the little sliding. When you're a kid, you put the little thing in there and you're like clicking it like this, picture, picture, picture. So they're seeing everything that happened to them from yesterday or from a month ago or 2 months of trauma, always coming back in the pictures of their head. And that's their voice. That's the trauma thingy, the block pictures like the animal, like the animals have. And I always say, you're gonna have to turn that off. You're gonna have to turn that off.
I have a few suggestions. I'm like you, Bob, where I take my phone and I check it a few times a day, and that's it. I am not a slave to my phone. You know, there's the odd time where I'll catch myself scrolling, through Facebook or whatever.
Sure.
Usually because I'm looking for an interesting meme to share. But besides
research.
that, so I actually think, the old adage that if you don't use it, you lose it. So people are losing their ability to concentrate. And I think that people need to grow a parent inside. So if you have a child and you love your child, what are you going to let your child eat? Are you going to let them spend all day on their phones? Are you going to, well, some do, but you know what I mean? And we have to apply that to ourselves, because we'll lose the skill of being mindful and being present. And then the other thing I was going to say about lucid dreaming, what I do, and this is a topic for another discussion, is I also channel and have telepathic communication with other types of beings. So I often will be of the mindset where I'm in anticipation. So for instance, when you're listening for something, you hear a squeak and it stops. You want to know what's going on. Is that my car, or is that the plumbing, or where's that sound coming from? And you have that anticipation where you just pause. That is the magic place for lucid dreaming. But while you're awake anyway, is being in anticipation of something and not having in your mind what you think it is, just something. And then I find that's the magic place to be, in anticipation. And then the other thing for sleeping, lucid dreaming, is before you go to sleep at night, when you're getting sleepy, just before you nod off, give yourself the suggestion, I'm going to wake up in my dreams tonight. And it might take you a week or 2 weeks of doing this every night. But we're very suggestible when we're in that sort of sleepy state, which is another reason why, and I'm guilty of too much screen time. I can lose myself and binge watching Netflix, so I mean, I'm not perfect, but we gotta get outside and I always kind of envy the smokers, because they get to go outside for 15 minutes or 10 minutes and enjoy the fresh air and the birds and the seasons, or even the cold, and if you don't do that, you're missing out. So,
well, this is sad to say. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. Our dad when he's in college, he actually did a research paper on it, and I just copied his information and did a paper on it too, which is a great concept. Did you guys know that all famous physicists, well, back in the day, probably not now, but most famous physicists that brought us everything that we ever had for whatever, they were all tobacco users. Not all of them smoked cigarettes. Now, they puffed a pipe. And scientifically, and I did a whole thing with analysis for one of my anthropology classes, and the teacher's like, this is unusual. You wrote a paper with the benefits of tobacco. I said, yeah, because there is benefits in tobacco. What it does is it calms the brain down. It is a chemical. And I myself, I got my advanced degree in anthropology archaeology, but I also went back to school as a TA for social services, and I went into I was a TA for chemical dependency. So I even got that freaking degree. That's not a lie. Eric remembers that. I went to school for chemical dependency. Anyway, the uses of tobacco. What it does is it calms the brain down. So even as an example, Einstein would have his pipe. Now, he wouldn't smoke it all the time, but he would have it. And when he needed it, and he was frustrated, and he's staring at the board, and he's got his inside voices going all over thousands of different areas, and he can't figure, like, he's got a problem. He would smoke his pipe, and the tobacco goes into the body. It's indigenous peoples did it. It's indigenous people's Prozac's what it is. So we got Native American Prozac. I was going
to say there's a reason why tobacco is sacred to so many Aboriginal groups. But the other thing too is there's tobacco and there's tobacco. You know, if you can get organic tobacco, or if you can find someone who grows it, you know, it's amazing stuff, and it's got all kinds of medicinal benefits. But the radiation sprayed crap that they pump into the cigarettes. And then the other thing is, you know, the warning. I don't know if you have this in the States. I'm in Canada. They put these big, ugly warnings on them where they've got pictures of people with pieces of their face missing and all this disease stuff. And they're giving you the suggestion that that's what's going to happen to you if you smoke. And it's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy, you know. So I'm not against
they don't want you to have it. They don't want you to have lead paint. They don't want you to have tobacco.
Yeah.
They don't want
anything
you to have
you eat nowadays, they say you could get cancer from. But I know we're gonna die down the show. We're gonna in the show very soon. Cause I know you're telling me like are you in an hour, Karen? Are you going on another show, or you're filming? Or is there something like somebody could watch you in an hour? Are you going on another show?
Yeah, it's Brandon Thomas Expanding Reality, his Expanding Reality show. So I've been invited, but I'm not sure if he's streaming it on all platforms, but it's live, and it's some kind of a cute. I don't know if he's streaming because the link is a Zoom link, so I don't know. I haven't really checked it out. All I know is he sent me the Zoom link, and he asked me to join him, and some other people are going to join him. You got the
smartest people in the chat. Don't find it.
Expanding Reality with Brandon Thomas. Yeah, he's another friend of mine. I've got the coolest friends. That's the other thing, having podcast creators on my show. I've just become part of such an amazing network of friends.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great people. I know. Soon, later, I don't know if this month or next month. I know. I got invited to go back on Midwest channel. I can't remember the date. I better go look at the email. Well, it's probably an hour. I don't know. No, I think it's in a few weeks. But before we go, I'll let you guys have your last words. Like Dr. Wu, are you doing a show tonight by any chance? And
let me check. I got a 30-pack. So,
all right, you guys know what kind of show that's going to be tonight.
I got a 30-pack.
Spicy. It's going to be spicy.
I've got.
You guys never been to Dr. Wu show? Just get some popcorn.
I'm gonna get wasted.
Have patience.
I'm gonna get wasted.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
At 420, I'm gonna rock this. I'm gonna rock
Karen,
this Casbar.
I'll let you have the last word for us all. Tell us about. I don't know. Tell us what channels if you want people to find you on. I know you got a not just YouTube. You got a pretty good Facebook channel that you broadcast shows on stuff, right?
Well, I've got a Facebook group called Aliens and Angels, and I myself create two podcasts. One is weekly. It's called The Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton, and it's on all the video and audio platforms. And then it's been kind of hit and miss lately. I have a podcast called Aliens and Angels, and it's all people who've had actual experiences. And I have a website, www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, if you want to come look at my beautiful orgone generators. But I also have a free resources tab with tons and tons of free resources available to help people with their awakening or their ascension or whatever you want to call it. And my big advice to everybody is just get weird, step outside of the box, experience life as it could be, not what you're told it's supposed to be. Thank you. Yeah, there's my YouTube channel.
Yeah, when you get weird, it really makes the jinn mad. If you're happy and you're cracking jokes and you're having a good time, they can't feed on you, and they don't like it.
And guys, she did this one episode with these two guys. I'll put it in a link. You guys might want to check it out. So the episode I'm talking about is episode 149.
It was great.
Eric Wood and Dr. Wu on her
channel.
Lowest one.
It's the lowest
one out.
It's sad. No, it's happy. It makes me
Oh,
happy.
what? Sad that we were on her channel?
No, I said it's the lowest. It's the lowest turnout. Like she's got all these 100 something. Like here's Eric and Bob. It's like this regular number.
Well, I don't pay too much attention to the numbers. So
I don't either.
See, YouTube will never monetize me every time I try, because I have over 1,500 subscribers. It's not very many, but I have enough. And they won't monetize me because they say my content is harmful. So, and it goes against their community guidelines. So I think, fuck you. And I just do my own thing. So I'm not attached to the numbers, but people want to come and sub. That'd be great. And watch some of my shows and give some thumbs up. And yeah, they should definitely watch the show I did with you guys, because I think it turned out really well. And I was so happy to have you on the show. Thank you.
And Bob, just saying that makes me sad. Hey, Bob, hold on. Let me show you something, Bob. Let me show you something.
What?
Look at this. Look at the one I was on right here. 850 views. So
damn.
Man, so there's some views. We're not all bad.
800. That's fat.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Sometimes it's certain titles, certain things that nobody really knows why. A certain video it gets pushed out there. That one video, and then you do 20 other videos, they don't get pushed.
Well, people that come into mind,
you can't figure that thing out.
I bust a lot of balls in mine. Mine's interactive. I always bust a lot of balls and make fun. Well, I make fun with people. They make fun of me, and we just bust each other's balls up, and everybody's having a good time and just chilling and having a great time. And my people are getting off drugs, or they're in the process, or they're in there reducing themselves down, or whatever the thing is. They're making some sort of effort. Doesn't matter how strong it is or how big it is.
Well, Bob, look at this. World Bigfoot Central. He was on my channel before. He has 22,000 subs, and they demonetized his channel.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm monetized, and you guys watch my channel. How the hell am I getting away with it?
They're constantly deleting my videos and reprimanding me and treating me like I'm a naughty child, and it just like I just do what I do anyway.
Karen, you got to hear this right before we go. You got to hear this. This is so true. Before this channel, I had my other channel, Mr. True Thoughts, right? And Bob does whatever he does on his channel. Anybody goes to his channel,
I showed my penis on camera. I showed my penis on camera.
One time,
darn, I missed it.
Bob goes, let's do a Mandela Effect show on my channel. So I set one up, did an interview with Bob, and no kidding, Karen, the next day, my channel got shut down. And Bob's channel just stays. And then I open up a second channel, and we did a Mandela Effect interview number 2. The other channel got shut down.
I tried.
Keeps going. It's like
I try to get it shut down. I make fun of everybody. I say the most stupidest. Sometimes now in a satire context. Let me say this again. Satirist context. I have people that watch me of all nationalities from all over the world. It doesn't matter what your color is, and I make fun of everybody equally. But I do make fun of a lot of people, and I say a lot of risque things. And I get up in the morning, and it's still on. I can't get it. Check it out.
Every other channel shut down just by showing up on his channel. He's insane.
I made $75, and so I get to collect it on the 21st. And so I'm like, yeah, cool.
But I don't make nothing. I make nothing. In fact, it costs me money to do.
Oh my God, Karen, I told that to people yesterday. Sometimes I feel like they think you make money. No, I'm in debt because of doing these shows.
Well, all my equipment was purchased by people from my sidebar. My everything, all my this has been it was a box that came to my door and says, "Here you go, man. I want you to have this." All my stuff, all my electronics are all purchased by people from the sidebar. Now I might not make any money, but people are like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna send you a couple of bucks. You gonna come on there?" I'm like, "I'm broke." It's like I'm gonna buy your I call it show goods. I'm gonna go down and get your show goods. I come back on. I'm on. People I mean, I'm a what do they call that? Nonprofit public sponsor. All my stuff, everything I have here is from other people.
That's
giving
why
it to you.
I want to learn how to generate money through lucid dreaming, because there's a woman on Facebook called Lucid Lana, and she's made hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing stuff while she's lucid dreaming.
Wow.
So if she could do it, I could do it. Anyway, I don't care about being rich, but I just like to pay my
I know.
bills.
We like to pay your bills, though.
I keep emailing Discovery Channel, say, hey, you need to give myself and Dr. Wu a show.
Huh.
Let us travel around the world. We'll show you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
you.
probably shut
Be
us down after
arrested.
the first episode. We can't air this.
We'll be arrested.
Thank
was
you
almost-
guys so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I didn't really, I'm not able to follow the chat and do a show. So I'll just say hi to everybody out in the chat. Thanks so much for joining us. It was great.
No problem. Well, everybody, I'll be back on Monday. Bob will be on tonight. He's got his 30 packs of beer.
In a little bit. In a little bit.
So he'll be on. So I'll see. Thank you, Karen, and everybody. I'll see you guys all next time on the Paranormal Highway.
Sometimes I feel so alone. Sometimes I feel so cold. But I try. Keep on pushing down my gypsy road.